Hey guys, good morning. Pete from PeteSuSense.com, February 11th, 2010. It is currently 11:10 in the morning. Markets dipped a little bit out of the gate this morning, shooting down almost to like 50 points in the red. It always catches my attention, but it doesn't concern me. I don't think that's a big whiplash. A big whiplash usually I consider it over 100 points or at least 70, 80 points. 30 to 50 points doesn't really concern me, but of course you got to watch it because, again, we got to watch the overall market. As far as that, some negative news, some positive news. First, let me show you the S&P 500 on a 3-month chart, which we've been watching for the last couple of days. And you'll see nothing has changed pretty much except that our upward trend line is still improving. Okay, our buy signal is still there. We got a small sell signal that just popped up in my system, maybe because of today's action, but the 5-day is starting to move. That's the 5-day indicator, small moving average. Okay, it's starting to move. It's looking, if you had to really look closely, it's pointing a little upward, but let's call it straight flat for right now. That's why I drew another trend line heading downward here. So we're primarily at a pivot point right now, and that's why I'm about to tell you about some positive and some negative news. I'm still optimistic. We're still holding above 1060. Obviously, our support line of 1050, but to move upward, 1060 is one of my numbers. We're currently at 1065.72. And with that said, we're still looking, and I still think the market is improving. But now to the bad news. There's a lot of shorts out there. There's a lot of hedge funds out there. And these guys want to bring down the market. And then sometimes, they got the money and the connections. What do I mean by the connections? Well, these guys put out press releases, which are sometimes false, fraudulent, illegal, call it what you want, but it gets out there. And sometimes it gets to the media, and if the journalists are not doing their job, guess what? It gets out there as negative news. The market's going to fall. The world's coming to an end. And then people panic, including traders, professional and amateurs. So with that said, we got to be very careful because the bears are right around the corner. Hedge funds are out there. They're pushing the envelope. They're pushing the envelope with this Greece story. If they're going to get stimulus money from their country or from Spain or from wherever. My 2 cents on that is Greece will get helped either from the EU or from their Spain or from wherever, but they're not going to allow their market to collapse with all their debt. So they will get help somewhere, somehow. That's my feeling. I follow on a lot of international news, and the reason I do that sometimes, Financial Times is a good paper, both digitally and paper to follow because sometimes they don't get too much of the noise that we receive here in the States. Even though I love the United States, don't get me wrong, but there's some papers that are, and journalists particularly, that are very straightforward and not too much blah blah in their articles. So I read a couple of articles, I saw some interviews, and bottom line, my thesis, let's call it, is that Greece will get help to help their situation. So that's the bad news. Good news is that there are a lot of companies that I'm seeing, a lot of reports coming through my radar that they're increasing their dividend. The last couple of days, a lot of companies have been increasing their dividend. So that's good because that means if they're believing in the company themselves, that means we should believe in the companies themselves. And now, obviously, we need to do our homework. We need to look at whatever companies are there, high dividends, strong fundamentals, strong earnings. That's what's going to take the market back up. I think we're doing fine. As I told you, the 5-day starting to move upwards. I'm still bullish on the market. Okay, guys? The Dow and the S&P and NASDAQ just turned green, so let's go get them. All right, this is Pete from PeteSuSense.com. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Thanks.